Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through the process of how I design my tapestry charts. You can download the chart I made in this video for free on my Ko-fi. I'm going to be making a character called Krobus who's from a game called Stardew Valley. If you've never played the game before, then Krobus is just this little guy that lives in the sewer and sells you things. I think he's pretty cute, so today I'm going to make him into a tapestry. I usually use a website called Stitch Fiddle to make my grids, and these are the settings that I use. I always just guess how big I need the grid to be, which is completely fine because you can add and remove rows as you go. You'll also need to check that your grid is going in the right direction, and an easy way to check this is to make sure that the bottom right number is 1 as well as the column beside it. Once the grid's set up, we need to add our colours, and this was very easy for me because I just needed black and white. To start, I will usually just sketch out how I think the character looks without a reference, just to get an idea of spacing. For your first time making a grid, I definitely recommend choosing something simple. Once I finished the sketch, I brought up a reference just to make some adjustments. As you can tell, I really struggled with finding a mouth shape that I liked, but we got there in the end. Here I'm just adjusting the graph because I didn't want a super thick border around the character. This is how the grid turned out, and now I need to crochet and make any adjustments that come up. For my tapestries, I usually use a 5mm hook and DK weight yarn. Acrylic or cotton is fine. We're going to start by making a slip knot. We're going to chain however many stitches you have at the bottom of the grid plus 1. My chart has 36 stitches, so I'm going to chain 37. Once you've finished your chain, we're going to start row 1 of the graph. And to do this, we're going to single crochet into the second chain, skipping the extra one that you did. From here you need to follow the graph, and for me this was very easy because the first 3 rows were just in white. Before you start a new row, remember to chain 1. Now I've skipped ahead to row 4 just to show you how to colour change. We're going to chain 1 and then single crochet into each stitch as normal until we reach the one before the different colour. Before you make your first colour change, it's important to check if you're working at the front or the back of the piece. If the number of your row is an odd number, then you're working at the front of the piece, and if it's an even number, then you're at the back. Now we're just about to do the 12th single crochet, which is the one before the colour change. As you can see, we go into the stitch as normal and pull the yarn through, but now we're going to get our second colour and use it to pull through the 2 loops on the hook. And that is how you colour change. Because we're working on row 4, which is the back of the piece, we need to make sure the yarn is tucked in on the side that you're working on. And now we're going to do 4 single crochets and then switch back to white. And now we're going to colour change from the front of the piece, so it's the exact same steps, but once you've changed the colour you need to make sure you keep the yarn at the back. Now that you know how to colour change on both sides, you just need to follow the graph. To keep track of where I am, I will just make a mark at whatever row I'm at. Some people prefer to print the graph out and have it in front of them, but whichever one is easiest for you is fine. Because the gap between the colour changes just increases from here, I decided to add a new ball of white yarn instead of carrying it over. This is row 17 where we start on the mouth, and instead of carrying the yarn over, I'm going to be adding another ball of yarn. Once I finished the mouth, I cut that yarn off and added it back when it was time for the eyes. And now that the eyes are done, I'm going to cut that ball off completely. Once you've single crocheted the last stitch, it's time to cut the yarn and pull it through the loop. And now we need to weave in the ends, and before I do this, I usually just make them shorter. Once you've weaved in all the ends, it's time to block it, and to do this you just make it really wet, squeeze out the water, and lay it flat to dry. Once it's fully dry, your tapestry is done. If you have any questions, then leave them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. And make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss another video. Thanks for watching!